Another example emerges of American patriotism under attack. Joe Biden blatantly lies about inflation, plus former President Trump draws an incredible crowd in New Jersey. All that and more. I'm Bobby Eberle. This is a 13-minute news hour.
And God bless the United States of America.
Okay, friends, welcome to the show. Happy Monday. I hope you had a great weekend. If you're new to the show, thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to start with the terrible, offensive, and triggering phrase, American Patriot. Now, I think the phrase American Patriot is fantastic. In fact, we need more American patriots. We need more focus on patriotism in general. But one of the pillars of a strong country with a strong national identity is patriotism. So that means it's under attack by the left. We see example after example. Just recently, an Indiana high school student, Cameron Blazek, stirred up controversy with school administrators because he displayed an American flag on his truck. That's right. He wasn't rioting or protesting or vandalizing. He was displaying some American pride.
Wherever 17-year-old Cameron Blazek goes, so does Old Glory.
The flag itself represents this country, this beautiful country that we live in.
He fastened the flag to his truck this summer.
It's very strongly secured in there. I mean, you can't pull that out if you tried.
It abides by the U.S. flag code.
I got pulled aside by my counselor and vice principal, and they told me, hey, you got to remove the flag off the back of your truck. And I kind of looked at him, and I said, no. I said, it's not going to happen. I said, I can't.
Cameron held the line.
Now, this kid was stunned. He looked through the high school handbook, and there was nothing about not displaying the flag. But we see this from left-wing administrators all the time. You can't wave a flag. You can't sing God Bless America. You can't show pride in your country because others might be offended. Even though, supposedly, these other people came to America because they wanted to be Americans. But that's a different story. Fortunately for Cameron Blazek, he turned out to not be alone.
The next day at school, others showed up with flags of their own.
There was a huge support group there that believed and stood for the same thing that I did, and I was kind of shocked by that.
That's when the principal sent a letter to parents Friday to, quote, address recent concerns and confusions, writing, I am pleased to inform you that we are allowing the display of the U.S. flag by students in the parking lot.
What a great show of support. And here's just a side note in case you stopped following the story. Because of the stand Blazek took, some companies came forward to show their support and give his truck a makeover.
It caught the attention of GCI Digital Imaging. Impressed by his determination, the company offered a free makeover. In just a week, with the help of others, they turned his truck into a giant American red flag on wheels.
He stood his ground, and my buddy Brian and I felt very strong that we needed to back this kid up.
The story also reached the American Legion, who donated $3,000 to Blazek. He's currently planning a positive way to use the money.
Good for him. But here's the main point. He should not have had to fight the school to display a flag. But when education is completely controlled by the left, that's going to happen. The left's goal is to destroy America from within, chipping away at the fabric that binds us together. And that's what brings us to the story that caught my attention from social media influencer Libs of TikTok. She recently noted that the TikTok app, which is certainly designed to poison the minds of young Americans, has a stunning standard when it comes to the content available on the platform. Using the search feature on the TikTok app, Libs of TikTok discovered this. So, the term American Patriots violates TikTok's guidelines because it doesn't promote a safe, positive experience. But searching I hate America is perfectly fine. TikTok is an anti-American propaganda tool. That's right. Doing a search on American Patriot not only returns 0 results, but this message is displayed. This phrase may be associated with behavior or content that violates our guidelines. Promoting a safe and positive experience is TikTok's top priority. For more information, we invite you to review our community guidelines. Unreal. But if you search on I hate America, tons of results will come back. User after user after user who hates America and is more than happy to post about it. That's what communist China and the left in general want you to see. And that's why we must support people like Blazek or the guys who protected the American flag from those who tried to pull it down and raise a Palestinian flag. This is America. Love it or leave it. All right, next let's talk about Joe Biden and inflation. But first, If you're new to the show or haven't subscribed yet, regardless of platform, just search out my name, hit that subscribe button, make sure notifications are turned on. That way you can follow the show and help us grow. Next, we have Joe Biden and inflation, because the economy in general and inflation in particular continue to be one of the top issues on the minds of voters as we head into the November presidential election. Everything costs more under Biden. That's just a fact. And those costs are adding up.
Federal data shows the cost of dining out is up by over 4% just in the past year, and it's up by a whopping 26% since before the pandemic. So many customers are more strategic when dining out.
We don't go out to eat even once a week anymore, at all. We don't. Yeah, probably maybe 2 or 3 times a month.
So that brings us to Biden's recent interview on CNN, in which Biden, with his stone, expressionless face, actually told whoever was watching that inflation was 9% when he came into office. The claim is just ridiculous. It's so blatantly false that even ABC News did a fact check on Biden during a story on the fallout from high inflation.
It was 9% when I came to office. 9%.
Inflation was actually 1.4% when Biden was sworn in, peaking at 9.1% in June 2022. It has since come down to 3.5%, preventing a further drop. Housing costs. In New York City, one survey found rent is rising 7 times faster than wages. In California, a condo in West Hollywood just sold for a record-smashing $24 million. Food costs also playing a role. Grocery prices are up 26% since 2019, and fast food prices are up 33%.
You know, times are tough when your own left-wing media does a fact check on you. The real story is whether Biden's team knew what he was going to say. Are they okay with him outright lying, or do they just cross their fingers and hope he doesn't say anything too outrageous? When it comes to young voters, the inflation issue is front and center because inflation is impacting what one would call non-discretionary spending. We're not talking about fancy cars or expensive clothes. We are talking about necessities like food and rent.
What's the biggest strain right now on many younger Americans' budgets? One report says it's rising food costs. The CNBC Generation Lab survey polled more than 1,000 people between the ages of 18 and 34 when asked what budget item was most impacted by inflation. 54% said food, followed by rent at 22% and discretionary spending at 10%. Now, food prices have reportedly risen 25% overall in the last 4 years.
All you have to do is think back to the classic campaign question. Are you better off now than you were 4 years ago? The answer is a hard no, and that's why Democrats will do anything except discuss issues that really matter to Americans. All right, next let's talk about former President Trump, who is clearly sending shockwaves through the Democrat Party and the left. This past weekend, Trump held a rally in Wildwood, New Jersey that drew a crowd estimated to be 80 to 100,000 people. Let me say that again. The crowd was estimated to be 80 to 100,000 people. It was just incredible. And in contrast, Biden often holds events where an honest journalist can't even use the word dozens because that's too big. Trump, on the other hand, represents the American people who are yearning for not only a return to better economic times, but to a new America not controlled by leftists who want to destroy the country. Here's Trump.
We're going to terminate the Green New Scam. We're going to drill, baby, drill. We're going to get our energy way down. Don't forget, that's what caused inflation. He let energy get out of hand, and it went to $100 a barrel. And now Putin also said, Putin would have never done that with Ukraine. But Putin now says, oh, man, at 100, he can spend a fortune on the war. If he kept it at $40 a barrel, Putin wouldn't have been able to do that.
Drill, baby, drill. And it's not only about using our own resources, it's the power and security that come from using our own resources. Trump understands the geopolitical landscape. He can see that Green New Deal programs don't just hurt energy, they destroy jobs and shift our dependency to other countries. Countries that want to bring America down. Here's more from Trump.
Who the hell would keep an open border? Because I think it's killing him in the election. Now, I may be wrong. Maybe this is a great political thing, to have millions of prisoners and mental institution people come in. Maybe it's a good thing. Maybe I don't understand. Maybe we all don't. Is there anything good about that politically? Is there anything good about high mortgage rates and high taxes? Your taxes are going to go up 4 times if this lunatic is elected.
Trump draws a crowd, and Joe Biden draws crickets. That's just a simple fact. But regardless of the popularity, so much will come down to turnout and making sure our elections are secure. Biden and the Democrats will do everything they can to deflect from inflation, the economy, and the chaos around the world. We must continue to hammer these issues and remind voters of how things were just a short time ago. And next, here's some rapid-fire headlines from around the country. First, let's start with San Francisco, which seems to be the epicenter in America for stupid left-wing ideas. As reported by Fox News, the city of San Francisco is providing free beer and vodka shots to homeless alcoholics at taxpayer expense under a little-known pilot program. You heard that right. Taxpayer-funded booze for homeless alcoholics. Under the managed alcohol program, regimented doses of alcohol are served to voluntary participants with alcohol addiction in an effort to keep the homeless off the streets and relieve the city's emergency services. Experts say the program can save or extend lives, but critics wonder if the government would be better off funding treatment and sobriety programs instead. You think? Next, the tension and chaos building around the world just might go up a notch as an Iranian official now claims that Iran has nuclear weapons. As reported by the Gateway pundit, Iranian lawmaker Ahmed Ardestani stated on Friday that Iran possesses nuclear weapons despite the country's formal policy under the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, or JCPOA. This controversial declaration follows a warning by Rafael Grossi, head of the International Atomic Energy Agency, who recently stated that Iran has enriched enough uranium for several nuclear bombs. Finally, I just wanted to touch on the Trump trial in New York because the prosecution was relying partly on the testimony of Stormy Daniels to paint Trump as a bad, sexually harassing guy, intimidating her and forcing her to do certain things. Just one problem. Her testimony completely contradicts what she stated publicly to Bill Maher just a few years ago.
Why did you Donald Trump?
I have no idea.
Okay, but you say it's not a Me Too case.
It is not a Me Too case. I mean, I wasn't assaulted. I wasn't attacked or raped or coerced or blackmailed. They tried to shove me in the Me Too box to further their own agenda. And first of all, I didn't want any part of that because it's not the truth, and I'm not a victim in that regard.
The more the case against Trump goes on, the more the case builds for Trump. And to think that Alvin Bragg and his crew are banking on Stormy Daniels and Michael Cohen to bring Trump down. It's just ridiculous. Friends, that's our show for today. I hope you enjoyed it. And remember, today's show's one sheet is available to Patreon supporters using the link in the description. The one sheet gives you the links to all the videos and stories used on today's show, so you can dive even deeper into each issue. And with that, our next show will be Friday evening at the usual time. Until then, I'm Bobby Eberle. This is a 13-minute news hour. All right, friends, thanks again for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And before you go, please hit that subscribe button above. Once you do, tell your friends, share it, spread the word about the 13-minute news hour so we can keep growing. And for more great content, check out these videos right here, and I'll see you next time.